Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Erudition Generations. Why are y'all looking like that?
Because we're here to greet all the people who want to
Underlings.
learn.
Mm.
So,
Okay,
hello, all seekers of knowledge.
today's topic was proposed by Elliot.
Warning. It shall be a warning, buddy.
No, this is rude.
Remember what
Elliot, go
happened
ahead and
last
tell him
time?
what your topic is about.
Okay, so today's topic was picked by a genius, aka me. So you may be thinking, what are we talking about? Internet safety. I'm going to be talking about the dangers of online. And then my brothers will also add to the stuff that I missed. Would you also like to say your topics, even though you're not going to do them yet?
Hey.
Or would you like to wait till after?
Oh, mine's
Hello,
going to be a
mother.
surprise.
Hello,
Yeah,
mother.
sorry about the delay. It has been very rainy over here.
Yes.
Had to
Exactly.
postpone 4th of July festivities because it's been raining so often.
That's right. Independence
But we
Day
are not
has
stopping.
been postponed.
Yes. Very sad.
You can't postpone the day, only the festivities.
But
You
I was
can
told.
postpone the day.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
anyway. See, there's a lot of dangers online, but
Bro,
What?
all right, let's get
Yeah.
right into it. Let's be right into it.
one danger I think that I should point out for my topic for right now is the dangers of online dating. You may be wondering, what does a genius, a stud, a very handsome man like Elliot have to do with the ladies? Because he's just way out of their league. He has everything to do with them. So let me tell you. See, the dangers include catfishing, serial killers that go on these dating apps, and it's happened before, which also includes the catfishing topic, though, and a lot of dangerous stuff. So I think it's okay if I go on talk about the dangers and give y'all tips. Yes, me. I'll give you my tips for free. But if you really want to, you can go down below and you can pay us. Yeah, there we go.
Yep, here we go.
You can pay us down there. You can support us. But anyway, online dating is a very dangerous place. So before you even think about meeting up with somebody on Tinder or whatever you hip kids do nowadays, you need to think about the actions and the consequences that things you do have. Would you like to give an example, Papa?
Yeah, but first I got a question. How'd you go from so young to so old? You really skipped your age. But to be quite honest and to be quite fair, I do agree. The online universe is very dangerous.
Yes.
I mean, think about all the horrible people out there. All of what you want, your credit card, your
Mhm.
wallet,
Mm-hmm.
your soul,
Yep.
your hair.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, the internet is a very weird place. And yeah, that kind of is kind of what happens. You got to beware because you don't know who's trying to be you out there.
Yes. Yes. So when you're out online dating and somebody tells you that we should meet up here for our first date, if you are going to do it and you cannot 100% confirm that the person is real, because people do human traffic stuff on dating apps because it's very surprisingly easy to do, actually. So people
Why do you
do
know?
it. So if you're going to meet up with somebody, make sure the area is, number one, highly populated. Make sure that people you know maybe are there or in the area, so you know where you are in your surroundings. Make sure you're not being followed, watched, or anything. And especially if the person is acting shady or checking on their phone, you should be a lot more aware of your surroundings than you normally are. And be careful of what you're taking into your body, like drinks, food, anything, medication. If anybody gives you medication and you just up and take it, not knowing what it does, well, that's your own fault.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah. Just like the rest of the world, exercise wisdom when you're online and outside, because that brings me to my next topic: doxing. a lot of weirdos online like to do things like, hey, buddy, click on this link that we have. Oh, well, no, that's not a very good example. Click on this link that I sent you in your email, and now I have your IP, your passwords, and everything you own, Papo.
We on fast. I'm sorry. I'm still on the home page to online data. You went right past that.
Yeah.
You pretty much did a freaking internet ad. Hey, here's this.
Yes, the dangers of online dating and the dangers of online in general. See,
And no, you can't
online dating has
smarter.
yes. Online dating has a lot of things that include the topics that I'm talking about, like doxing, when you click links, when blackmail and stuff. Because people online, if you think just because it's online, they don't have power over you or anything, but that would be completely false, because they actually do have a lot of power over you, because they have your socials, your stuff, ways to contact you. And a lot of people think Facebook would be a safe spot to put any of your social media or information. But no, people can, if you're a person who puts your school and your status and stuff and your full name and stuff, people can find you online, and they can go to where they know you would be usually. They can find your workplace, they can find your house, they can find what school you go to. They can find everything online. So you got to be really careful when you're online. And especially, as I stated, online dating. Because online dating...
Dad has said about the topic of online dating. What do the rest of you think about online?
Yes, what do you think?
That also goes out to everyone who isn't just now getting in or commenting in posts. What do you think about the topic of online dating? Let's start with Papo, since he's right next to you.
Well, how do I put this? Online dating. Let me put it like this: you dang kiddies just can't go outside these days and talk to people out there. You gotta go on the webtoons. I would drop that, but nah, bro. You gotta. I do agree that online, you don't know who that is. They could have found a picture that you have no idea where it's from, and they tricking you all the way to God knows where, and then for all you know, you getting tricked. So so they don't even know who the real person is. It's a very dangerous side of the internet.
There's a lot of dangers you got to watch out for online.
Yeah, that is true. There's a lot of dangers on the internet, and it does come down to how much do you trust the person. Because me and you were in a traditional brick and mortar school setting.
Be
And
careful what you say here. That's what I'm saying.
A little future.
we would only be able to grab people's names and put them on our phone after school. So you kind of were already online per se, because you really didn't know much about the person in the classroom, because you're supposed to be working. And then all you might have is recess, and that doesn't tell enough about a person. So you text them throughout the day and see how they interact. So it really does come down to how much do you trust the interact based on the interactions that you've had before. How do you how much you really trust that person, and how do you judge what their online persona is? Because let's face it, nowadays there's people with whole online personas. They act one way online and then in another way socially and in public.
Yes. Like that one person online who was posting a bunch of death threats, IPs and crap, and turns out they was some basement dweller who hasn't been up from their share from like days. It's very sad, but you don't feel bad for him because
how many people did they scare because of what they were doing?
The internet is a very invaded or anything. Other ways, well, I mean, through any form of social media, you could be in a COD lobby enjoying your day, but you forgot 3 weeks ago, you got an email from old Jimmy. You clicked on the link, and now you're in a COD lobby. Well, I'm better than you. And then they say your full IP, your full name, and all of your socials. And then you have no idea what to do. And then other people have that information because you know how people spread stuff online, especially after it gets popular, because people are just evil.
But Matthew, how do you feel about all this online data and all this spread of information?
I agree with all of y'all on what y'all said, but you could have said more, like how it's online dating is now becoming a problem with if now people going out and deciding, hey, I'm gonna go on this game, find a girl, and now we're going to start dating. And luckily for Roblox, the best game, and you can report people for online dating.
You've killed Elliot. Explain what a COD
Thank God
lobby
I'm
is.
mute.
Everybody, let's explain what a COD lobby is.
Call
Stands for
Call of Duty, the video game.
Yes, one of the most toxic
Not
fan
sponsored.
bases
And Call
of
Duty.
chat known. Well, technically, all multiplayer chat is really
it used to be.
toxic.
And Call of Duty.
Yeah, and then they got
Yeah,
struck with
But
that.
again,
And-
that
Yeah,
comes
then they
down
decided to
the-
start the ability to report.
Yeah, that comes down to the online persona.
No, it was always there. They
In
just
the
didn't
online
care.
persona, I can say all of this because I'm the king of whatever this topic is. Or if I'm winning a debate online.
Yes,
a
keyboard warriors. That's what they call them. But I think
I like
the internet is a very dangerous place if you don't watch your back. But it can also be a fun, nice place for you to hang out with your friends, talk to stuff, and all that stuff. Like, for example, you could use apps like Discord, Snapchat, Facebook, all that crap. Just be very careful on what you give out on those apps, especially when you know the person is not too nice or shady. But anyway, I think I know the perfect person who could talk about Discord more. And that would be my brother, the man, the person who says Jimmy lives in his head, Matthew.
Hey, I would like to just take a few seconds to say, like, subscribe, and do all the things. Follow us on Facebook, Twitch. But please don't follow us in real life. Well, anyway, I will be talking about Discord, the dangers of Discord, or more. The dangers of Discord is very high, with people now learning and how to disguise as links, such as Roblox. Elliot said this. It's along with his doxing. And so that's why you need to double check links.
Would you like to
That's
explain
why
how,
I'm joking.
man, can you explain how they can tell or avoid how these links are not real links?
Yeah. All of the links will have some identification of
How do you watch
this.
for your plaque? You brush your teeth.
But
I don't think
The
that's
way-
the one that she was talking about. But
the way you actually avoid.
can you elaborate on that more?
Yeah, please. The way you avoid.
Yes, man. How do you know that the links aren't fake?
You can read the name if it says Roblox or something seems off.
Would you explain the key details that can tell you how the Roblox link or get link would be fake, even though it looks very real?
You can look at the name at the
Mhm.
very top or the bottom.
At the name, it will have what Maddie's trying to say. It'll have a slight distortion, like maybe the L is an I, or,
It will most likely
there's a
say-
dot in the middle.
It most likely could say YouTube. Something like that.
And if
because
you're not
they
looking
always-
and you're just clicking links, then you'll get got.
Yeah.
And they can steal your stuff. Explain how they can steal it, Matthew.
they can log into everything, such just like doxing. And
Yes,
also,
via
there is a
cookies,
storm
they
going
can
on.
log into your information.
There's
Yeah,
a
thank
storm
God I'm not. I'm starting to feel
And
real
we're losing
old,
them.
bro.
Yeah, me and
Y'all,
people have no idea what y'all are talking about when y'all say Roblox, so we're just letting y'all do your own thing.
yeah,
Cause
exactly. Me and Tay ain't that tech savvy. You know what we doing? We realizing that man, technology really came really far. And
the
then you know what
problem
we
that
do?
I
All
have,
right, moving on.
the problem that I have with Discord the most is they will not have punishments or monitor the chats.
now I do know about Discord because I am
Yeah, he's old enough to
Yes.
have it. Boomer.
ain't that old.
Well, it's a good thing I ain't old. You know why?
Well, you
I
want to
ain't
be.
like none of y'all.
Yeah,
Elliot said you just need to watch out for your platform, but how?
A good way
I think
how
Matthew could explain that for me since he's covering everything about Discord and links.
a
And
good
stuff.
way how to actually hide or avoid these are getting a VPN. And if you don't know what VPN is, it will keep you safe on the internet. I don't know
I
what
don't
it
think that's the
what it means, and so I will give that to Elliot. But a VPN and will change your state and protect your
yes.
or location, passwords, and everything.
Mm-hmm. It'll protect you from stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
it basically just. I didn't know that you didn't know what a VPN was. Your VPN
He
is
means the acronym.
your virtual private network. So basically, yes, you can switch it to something else. Like I'm in another state or country, even you can switch all of that. But
Some don't.
it does keep people from finding you easily.
I will not be touching on Roblox that much. Which I will
Yes,
be.
he just
Oh,
used
there's
Roblox.
plenty of games with game chats. Everything has a chat now because if you really think about uh, the nature of where games are going, it's not linear anymore. It's more of a hey, you make decisions based on maybe how much you like the person, maybe an own clique of people. You chat between each other and you do these go on adventures or missions. One place that really made that popular was GTA. Grand Theft Auto really helped you because if you had group play, you were more synchronized with your group for heist. Same thing with Call of Duty. If you communicate, you can dominate the enemy faster. It's all about how you utilize the platform.
But my biggest problem with
Kids, they don't Roblox.
What
yes,
is a Roblox? Oh,
I have no
Roblox.
idea.
Bro.
Y'all,
I don't
y'all
know.
gone into
Kids-
I mean,
kids-
it's not
I can't
just
kids
explore,
date
bro.
on
Yeah,
Roblox.
but
Kids
it's
date
not
on Roblox
just
a lot.
kids and stuff. It's weird. Roblox is weird. Can you, my father has a question for you. Can you send inappropriate material on Discord?
Yes,
Well,
yes. Sadly enough, but in servers, you can put an age restriction on.
Yes. Or you could just moderate your server and have people.
I was
not
just
do
thinking
that.
about something.
but bro,
Yes.
Or be a
Matthew,
good owner.
You
That-
know what would be a
that-
really good example of the dangers of online online like Discord, right? It would be that person who got arrested. What
yeah,
did he
there we
get
go. That's
arrested
exactly
for,
what I
Matthew?
was about to say. Because
That's what Discord actually needs to do. They need to run it with the government, and because sadly enough, Discord is too allowing.
I have been.
Yes,
in
May.
the
Would you like to
Discord chat
explain
room.
what happened?
That
and
is
why
not somewhere you
think
want
it's
to
too
be
allowing
where the government wants to get involved in
at all?
because
Yeah.
it's basically a platform that you do
Yeah.
what is gamer
The
talk.
server that was shut
It's-
down recently.
Is virtually what I like to call Discord is the equivalent of a classroom or a bar,
Black
and a
Mirror.
classroom after the teacher leaves. because everybody knows that when the teacher leaves the classroom, it's party time.
But there
Yes,
are
Matthew.
some good things about Discord, or besides
And the longer
from
they're
the
away,
person.
the more wild it gets.
There are better things to do in Discord, like make your own server, make your emojis, which is so great.
Yes.
But of the person that got
I'm
arrested,
in place of the audience today.
well,
'Cause
because
I don't know
Discord.
nothing really about Discord. Bro.
Matthew, Father has asked you another question. Nudity or personal information? Should parents be concerned?
Yes.
Yeah, this goes
And
along with the
I
question.
do
Can you
believe
share all
if somebody pulls up a real address, they need to be IP banned. And if you don't know what,
that's what. Yeah.
I don't have IP. Whatever,
Yep, there we go.
whatever
And
server
or
they
these-
were in, you would need to
the
kick them out of there
or
because you shouldn't be giving out personal information. But there is a DM and a PM, which is private message and direct message.
Mm.
All you have to do is go there. Hey man, you want to meet up? We can do that here. This is again, it's another place like a bar. In a bar, you can chill out, tell stories, do whatever you're doing. People of all different backgrounds.
Yeah,
Hey,
but
do
PMs
something.
and DMs are two different things because
I know, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
actual servers.
yeah,
But-
but yeah, if they do that,
Inside the server,
still check
all-
the logs and see your personal information. That's why you shouldn't share information.
I'll give a little
well, you shouldn't share
people. Yeah,
information at all unless, again, you trust that person because maybe you do know somebody outside of there. You met them at school and they gave you their Discord because they didn't want you to do their phone number because some people monitor their kids' phones. They don't monitor the apps.
Well, anyway, it's something that I do want to address is how you can make your own server because I don't want to stay on the negative side of Discord.
up too late. Do folks bully on Discord, Matthew?
Yes, and sadly enough, it has happened
Yes.
along with racism.
Thus the name Discord.
Yeah, it's a lot of racism, Matthew. Elaborate.
There is a lot of racism on Discord, which I wish could stop, but it is
But your hopes
never
will stay
going to
wishes
stop.
and your wishes will
Because
stay hopes.
most of a creep's life is spent behind a screen.
They a different species and they're lagging out.
Yep. As soon as Matthew said creeps as a whole different species, they got cut out.
I played COD as a woman character, and the guy on my team did something sexual to my character in the game. So I shot him. Hey,
Hey,
Good for you, mother.
you-
Yeah.
you know what they say?
Just don't apply that to no.
Yeah, don't apply that to reality. We won't be liable.
we
Game
won't
is not
tell you
reality. Gotta repeat that several times.
that. Wait, did it?
But that
Did it knock out his character?
that can still do the same thing. That same method can apply to Discord. The reason that people do things like that and say whatever they're going to say, whether
Because it's online. They think it's no consequences.
yes, it's anonymous or supposedly until somebody grabs your information.
Anyway, Matthew, to wrap up.
But again, there's a difference between the online persona and the actual decorum that you are expected to have in society.
Well, anyway, getting off of the depressed note, Discord is very.
That's the reality of life, not depressed. Oh, well, life is depressing. Never mind.
Yeah,
Continue.
you get it now.
What you mean? Life doesn't have to be depressing. It's rather uplifting.
Well,
at times.
anyway,
Yes, 4th of July. Happy.
Topic.
Mm,
I don't know what just happened.
I have no idea.
being hacked.
Seems like y'all really glitching out over there.
We being hacked. We're being hacked.
Elaborate on the type of racisms that you see, Matthew.
Most recently,
Don't wait. Let me elaborate really quick. Matthew is an African American male, but that does not mean you need to repeat the things that they said, Matthew.
Exactly.
Okay, continue.
Yes.
Yes, and most recently I caught a recording of I'm pursuing a racist person, and he was hating on a Jew. I will not say what he said because it is.
Yep, and there we go. It's over. They caught him.
Oh, Judy.
Yeah, there again, a lot of things happen within those because like I said, parents check their
Yeah, but that's the
messages.
thing.
I will
Those
share the
within the
video to
actual
all of
phones.
you later.
However, they don't really check the apps and don't understand that there are games with chat rooms. Why is it doing that
Why is it?
Why is it doing that?
on its own? Is this thing on a swivel or something?
Are y'all possessed?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. Maybe the camera is.
Oh, you might want to move it over to the side a bit more.
Well,
Well, anyway,
the ghost of the internet coming to get y'all now.
there are good there are good servers, such as servers like cooking, cleaning, and many others.
Uh-huh.
And I'm speaking of cooking, I think we should go to the main chef, the one that has a bad taste in session, or I would like to call him Teddy. I'm joking, Papa.
And they lagged. Huzzah! Pablo Stockett! Oh, dang it, I lost
Yep.
that forever.
I think he's gonna get you for that later.
No.
Oh, it's a good thing. you cut out,
Anyway,
'cause I
Pablo,
heard
what
none of
is
that.
you talking about today?
Well, it's time, everyone. After talking about parts of the internet that nobody like me would understand, because I am proud to be a pre-internet person. What I'm going to talk about
before the internet. You weren't here then.
anyway.
This is
What I'm proud to talk about is online recipes don't work. I hate to tell you, bro, but unless you watch, sometimes you can watch videos, sometimes you can watch tips and all this other stuff, but it just doesn't work. Have you ever? Because think about it like this: there's always that recipe that's like, oh, add this amount of flour, add one cup of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and dang near 3 jugs of oil, and then you're sitting there like, how did you get this consistency? And they tell you, well, it does, and then they tell you, well, it may be a little floury. And you look at your masterpiece that's in a bowl right now, and you look down and you see that this thing has not turned into dough, it has not turned into anything, it is still a liquid. And then you're thinking to yourself, and I know everybody's been here, you're thinking to yourself, what did I do wrong? Well, the secret is, most people don't really know how to write down recipes. I just hate to say it. What they do is they add on to a recipe. They look at a recipe they learned before, and then they add on to it. So if they're like, well, the consistency, this isn't floury enough right now, they'll just add a dash of flour in, and then
up, and there they go. There is a thunderstorm near our house, so that's maybe a reason.
well, now we back. But back to what I was saying. What happens is they add an adjustment later. They season it differently. They do a little bit of everything to it, and then they just try to compensate by saying, well, this is initially what I used.
Or they just straight up lie.
Exactly. They lie because of the fact that they believe that by doing this, people will be like, oh, they use less than this recipe, so surely I should follow this one. And then you're sitting there wondering, how did you end up with a recipe that doesn't work on the internet?
Especially if you're looking at a tutorial online for something. Or on YouTube, especially. Because
making
people
these
not only lie, troll to you, but they also remove dislikes on YouTube, so you won't know till it's too late, and you done poisoned your whole family after they had 3 rats to your meal.
Nah, because you got to be careful about that, because some people will go out here since dislikes are gone. They'll try to tell you, you could Google how to clean your chicken, and you might find out
somebody cleaning it with bleach.
Somebody's cleaning it with bleach. Someone's cleaning it with dish soap, and someone's not cleaning it at all, talking about how it preserves the flavor and you got to let it breathe. You've got to be very careful about food on the internet, because when it comes down to growing food or making food, people will
My favorite was
try to do something.
chitlin dip.
Oh God, no. And then there's stuff like that.
Live execution.
Nah, there's stuff like this where somebody suggests something right out of their brain, from the darkest regions of their brain, that only the darkest parts of their soul and the most desperate parts of their mind have come up and come together in a really horrible way and pushed forward a thought that is absolutely terrible. And I hate to tell you, but there's some things that don't need to be made. You don't have to go out here and think to yourself, I got a watermelon, but I don't really want to eat watermelon. What should I do? You don't grill a watermelon. That's first. You don't make watermelon shish kebabs unless you're trying to just make it normal. To be quite honest, some things don't need to be done with food. Not everything has to be a culinary masterpiece, and nothing has to be an art.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be an abomination that you put on a table.
Exactly. Because what people forget is they think about presentation too much, but they're not thinking about the one.
I wouldn't even say presentation. Some of them actually think if I mix all the stuff in, oh, it's not about the presentation, it's about the taste. But the presentation looks just as bad as the taste.
You're forgetting about the taste. If you're adding peanut butter and jelly to a cake that was made to just have frosting or chocolate, you think that's really going to taste good? What you're doing is in the background is you're most likely either throwing that stuff away or getting horribly sick, because there's certain things that should not be mixed with other things.
I watch the internet food creations because one of these times someone will throw up live trying to eat that crap.
Yeah, but not but it's
that's the funny thing, real, right?
Yeah,
they be making all this.
I don't really find it
and
funny
you be thinking in your head, they are wasting food.
Yeah, but I don't really
all
find
the resources
you're wasting
that we're running in
that other people could
that
have.
we're low on in the world.
Yeah,
and you're just sitting here wasting, and then
thinking it's
like, oh no, they're gonna eat it. And then they cut the camera. They don't ever eat that.
Yeah, like for instance,
they use it as a weapon.
But
exactly,
they still got your view. They still got your view because you still looked at it. You didn't watch it and go, ooh, nah, and go off. You went, what are you doing? And just to see how bad it could get. And that's all they did it for.
I feel like people like that should be identified and not able to go to grocery stores anymore.
But think about it. Grocery stores need their customers. And do you know what's the worst part? There's some people out here that won't even cook the food. They will do some absolutely mind-boggling things.
I don't know.
Like, for instance,
you just get a lifetime ban from Walmart.
No, because think about it. You know that there's going to be another person that they'll hire to go in there, or they'll hire to bring stuff out. Because you need
why
groceries.
You're getting put on a list.
But think about it like this. Do you know what? Because look, I've been on the internet, and do you know what's the worst thing that I've seen? You'll see people honestly try to be like not vegan, but I should say warriors of the internet. They will try
warriors.
Exactly. They'll try to be warriors of the internet, where they'll take a chunk of beef, a real expensive chunk of beef. They'll take it outside, and then they'll throw it somewhere as if they're setting the animal free.
Yeah,
and it's a horrible thing because it's a horrible waste of food.
It's a horrible waste to the
I agree with Mom.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody should be wasting food, even if it is for likes and views. And I think there needs to be repercussions for if you're found doing that.
Yes, you should be found, and Steve Harvey should come to your door with a frown on his face and say, "You ain't ever coming here again."
Exactly. I mean, it's a very horrible side of the internet when it comes to food, because there's people who are out here thinking grandma's recipe from the struggle was an honest recipe.
Exactly.
When she was really trying to figure something out and looking at what she had, and she was like, oh, this is not a recipe I kind of like. But when you asked her, what's a recipe that you did? She might say for fun, like, oh, I put peanut butter and jelly on cardboard and then fried it under some chicken. And then she is expecting you to laugh. She's not expecting you to go like, that's an honest recipe. Honest from grandma. I'm going to go make this. Because you know what your grandma's sitting there thinking? What have you done?
No, she's
Then walk up to your mother. What have you teach this boy?
Mike said, I got a Cajun chicken Alfredo recipe of TikTok.
Exactly.
And it was actually pretty good. There are some pretty good things on there.
Genuine recipes.
But
remember, they're outweighed by the bad.
Yes, but exactly. But disguise only works because there is crops within the weeds. You just got to figure out what they are.
Yes. And once you find the plants and the good,
and that's the one thing.
It's not to say that there's not anything good on the internet and that you can't find honest recipes, but
yes,
right now,
to say that half of them right now are
from having an issue, and we're trying to figure out why and what that is.
You mean you and the hosts are trying to figure that out?
Yeah, it's
not
raining.
raining. And the lightning, you might lose. Yeah, that is true. You can't hear the thunder. Through the camera.
But the thing about it is, I will mention that, Teddy, because in all honesty, yes, there are weeds in the crops, but I'm going to mention an even worse type of stuff because of the fact that there is a worse part of this where people are honestly going out here. And you know how people always said before grocery stores and all this, we went out into the forest, picked our own food. There are people out here believing that they can go out into the wild and just grab whatever they want and eat it, which is even more dangerous than anything else. Because at least if you go to a store, all of that is edible in some capacity. And then the stuff that's not is marked as not edible. But when you go out into the forest and you're picking mushrooms and you're the poison eat and out here whatever you want, then you can not only poison yourself, you're going to poison every single person who eats your meal because you thought that you were somehow going back to your primitive roots of some sort. When in reality, you know what your primitive roots were like? I saw Jeffrey over here pick these and he lived. I'm going to pick these and I'm going to live. But they're thinking, I'm going to discover. And then when they discover wrong,
they come back to the old TikTok equation of you mess around, you find out.
I feel bad for like a caveman randomly eating a really hot pepper, thinking it was food.
Oh, be honest,
bro.
Those things were
man-made. Struggling on the ground is making me real sad.
Some of those you got to understand were man-made, like the Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, obviously not really hot, but like normal hot pepper.
I mean, to be fair, at least peppers are safe to eat. There are foods out there that will burn your mouth and then be more relentless than a pepper because you'll be thinking, oh, this burns. And you'll be like, oh, but it's probably fine.
All I can see is a
and then you look at your tongue and it got sores on it.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, it's raining.
Or worse, it's bleeding.
Mm-hmm. It's raining, it's pouring.
And it's bleeding.
But nobody is snoring.
What?
Yeah. But the thing about it is, what I'm trying to say is, don't be some sort of person on the internet believing that they're going to be the next big thing by going out here and doing all sorts of stuff with food. You don't have to improve every recipe. You don't have to put your own creative spin on everything. You don't need to go ahead and be the king of the culinary world. And for Christ, oh my, and for all the people out there, I'll say it like this. Do not go out into the backyard or the woods and decide to pick food, because what I have learned from YouTube is that multiple foods look like edible foods. And do you know why? It is because of the fact that those foods are trying to be eaten. Edible food is the most dire thing that everyone will know. That's the one thing you will try to recognize. But plants also recognize this, and they know I can eat off of this. I can eat off of you after you collapse, because in all honesty, you're fertilizer, and it pretty much knows. It's a fact to all plants at this point, and they're thinking,
what's going on here? I'm seeing an increase in videos saying we should be eating the weeds that randomly grow in our backyard. No, good luck with that. I don't think it's anti-inflammatory.
Yeah.
I think it is inflammatory. Gonna be sitting there.
Most of the videos you see sometimes, they seem very shrollish.
Exactly.
Like if somebody hopped on and told you, if you eat ice cubes 7 times a day, 3 times a day, 7 days,
Exactly.
days.
There
minutes.
are.
Yeah, it don't even make sense.
Exactly.
If I told you drink a canteen full of lava and go to the bathroom and you'll never have stomach problems again, you'd be like, dang.
But these are the
definitely
videos
will.
out here. These are the tricks and tips.
The end of your life.
Dogs and animals. Well,
No, that just adds seasoning. I understand now.
But hold on, because what you're not realizing is there is manure, and most of your plants are bought, and they grew from manure. Don't think that animal pee and urine, all that is not a part of growth. You know what they tell you? Clean off your dang on food. Don't instantly try to pop this in your mouth, because you know where this has been growing? This has been growing with the flies, the mosquitoes, the gnats, and the cow poop outside where the dogs pee. That is exactly where this stuff is growing. And if you're thinking that this is just something you can eat straight off the vine or straight out the ground, you will be sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
No. Anyway,
Excuse me. What just happened?
Baba, recipes.
Yeah, I talked about recipes.
Weeds
Look,
with
look,
dog poop.
Look, I'm covering those bases, because that's pretty much what happens. People who try to add on to the recipes. I go on recipe sites, and you know what I do? I read the gist of the recipe, I grab the recipe, and then I be like, well, I have this ingredient, I have this, but I'm going to put on a spin of my own. And I don't go and try to spin the entire recipe on its head. I try to spin it in a way that's both affordable and edible. So in all honesty, what I'm trying to say is, don't try to do too much with food. It's fine as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And take every recipe and every tip and trick with a grain of salt.
Yeah, because food, chef.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's horrible.
But
Thanks
yeah,
for ruining that.
Transition.
exactly. Well, Teddy, we've come down to your topic.
That
So
was
please,
a horrible transition.
Enlighten us. Enlighten everyone.
We about to fly through the camera. What are you doing?
Well,
Yes,
Teddy,
it is my topic. Okay, so it's gonna be hard to top all that, so we ain't even gonna try. What we gonna do is just go over the immediate danger of being on the internet. Because what I think people don't understand is that, oh, I'm anonymous, so I don't have to uphold myself like an actual citizen on the internet. And unfortunately, that's where people mess themselves up. Like even the YouTube as a platform, Twitch, Facebook, you do have a standard of you need to be professional on these platforms just as you are in life. What StreamYard duck come up for? What? Just guessing wanted to just make a cameo. Yes, this is ran by StreamYard. Spell check still sucks after all these years. Yes.
I'm about to say, because Teddy is Teddy Rustin's name. The Teddy you were talking about is your son.
I'm cold, so that's why I have this hoodie on.
Shouldn't spell check have improved, especially since AI? If you allowed it on your phone, yeah, I guess
I never do that.
If you download Google Keyboard, it does allow you to do that. It will spell check for you. However, again, it can still be wrong, but it's more accurate than your standard phone. But do you really want to allow it access to your keyboard? There's always some way to solve a problem. Is there a risk? Are you trying to bury yourself in your hood?
Yes.
Why?
It's cold down here.
I don't feel it.
In all honesty,
But
really question the vegan.
it's funny because when Elliot chose the topic, I had just finished a paper on that for my final, and again, all it really was people. Of course, I had to touch on psychology because that's the degree I'm in. But the psychology behind that is that there's a lot of social problems on the internet where everybody wants to fit in because, hey, if I don't fit in real life, it's too hard to get people to break the shell again, that online persona to reality persona. It's easier to breach through the online persona because you can talk about anything that you want and it can't really be tied directly back to you unless you say something really crazy and then all eyes are on you and then they find you. But unless they pinpoint what's going on, you can say whatever. The problem is they really don't care that much to fix these social problems because it feels good to them. Of okay, my friends are doing it online, so I can interact just this way online. Even kids be straight up cursing. They won't curse in real life. They're a whole saint when they're walking around, but you meet them online, they gonna curse you out. Yeah. Again, the online persona. The difference between the online persona and the persona that you have to have online. What are you doing? The persona that you have online is not the same that you have in reality. In reality, you do something, there's going to be consequences. In there, you can say whatever. As long as you just skate by, you should be fine. But what I've also seen happen with, especially people within peer groups of Matthew and Elliot's age and younger, you will see that they fall for peer pressure. So if anybody's doing it online, they do it. They're very impressionable. So they're doing it in a heartbeat. Hey, can you do this? I think you should do this. Oh, okay. Now it doesn't mean that they go as far as to grab money, but some do. It doesn't mean that they would do harm, but some, again, they do. But a more drastic example of that would be somebody's in debt. They say, hey, give me some money. I'll pay you back. And your child is like, okay, I can do that.
A Ponzi scheme.
Because I know that people earn money from playing games and even mobile games. And I know that there are some kids.
I don't know about that. Don't trust no websites that say you can earn.
You can't trust all of them. Again, you do it at your own risk. But sometimes they do work. And I do know of some kids that do that. I don't know what site they're doing, and they won't tell you because if they tell you, then because it's usually competitive games, competitive mobile games. So if you go on there and beat them, well, then that's not a secure check anymore. If I allow AI to chat with me, should I be accountable for what it says? No, but you are accountable for what
you have done.
I don't know about that. Maybe you should. Depends. What does the AI know about you?
If you're talking to an AI so much that it consumes your personality and starts saying some real bogus crap, then that would technically be on you.
Yeah, because think about it. That AI knows
it does learn. So if it's suggesting, hey, if one day you say, I'm having a bad day, and it says, some days you should just by a weapon, then yeah, something might be wrong with you. You can be held accountable.
Or the
Yeah.
words
But
of
what
that
I
one
would
dude,
say is
too.
that for general, no. Again,
No,
that's if you haven't been speaking to it and it's suggesting things off your
Yeah.
meta. But what I would say is that no, generally you wouldn't be held accountable, but you are definitely held accountable of your actions based on it. So even though it's make some random suggestion, if you go out there and do it, well, that's your fault.
yeah. Don't
That
say
is-
that the AI made you do it.
And legally, you can say, well, I that's just a suggestion, had nothing to do with me. A child may be able to say, well, this thing suggested it to me, and they're being impressionable. They might not be as dire, but full-on adults, we should be more attentive to what we put out here online. So we really do need to get better about what we internet in our just
Man,
reality,
yeah,
but
the
also
internet's really
reality. And what you will find is that, well, from what I have found, is that if you're yourself online, a lot of people relate more to you, even though that they may be acting plumb crazy. But if you are being honest, they at least know, hey, this is a friend, this dude comes real, and you may actually find yourself making valuable connections. But when you sit here and say, well, this is my online
What are
time,
you looking at?
I'm gonna be completely crazy, and I'm gonna put a whole personality out here that is completely the opposite of what
Where are you?
I am in reality. And unfortunately, people do that, and it does lead to depression because
What are you?
it's called, believe it or not, that is a split personality. I have an online persona and a reality, and when they conflict, well then I get depressed, and then I start looking at shortcomings, and then it's like I want to be engaged in this 24/7, but I can't because that's not reality, and then depression happens.
Mm.
And what we had to do was tie that into Bandura, and I'm not about to. I'm sorry, I'm not about to read a whole 4,000 word essay. That was too long.
If you were
If you're wondering what 4,000 words looks like, it is the equivalent of just under 7 pages, and we're not doing that.
oh, I thought you said this whole house and a little bit more.
No. When you get
To be quite honest with you, Teddy, reading 7 pages and everything, pretty easy. It tell you.
No,
Somebody was like, "Hey,
writing-
just read seven pages."
writing 7 pages was a nightmare.
Yeah, writing 7 pages probably a nightmare, but I can read 7 pages in an instant.
Yeah, I'm not reading that. I took very good snippets of what.
Don't age restrict
I
AI. Let it roam free. Let it be what it's going to be.
Die.
What I should say is that you should teach your children accountability even before, if they can't handle accountability in reality, they do not need to be online. Online is not a place where they need to be, especially if they are impressionable.
Exactly.
Well, this man said that he would like to see a picture of me, but he's also a pervert. So now you have a problem with that, and you're, as great as parents are, they're not going to be checking, especially the more kids they have, every single app
Single message
that has a chat on there.
Unless they're a
So all you
amazing
can do,
parent.
and even still, the child may be like, well, she's always in my stuff. So that can lead to depression, and then also a big problem where they do not form a secure attachment to the parent of, well, they keep monitoring whatever I'm doing. So I'm just going to, now they're sneaking, and then whatever happens, and then what's worse is that if they're sneaking it, they feel like they can't come to you and talk about whatever may have went wrong when they were sneaking it, whatever interaction they were sneaking doing, and that leads to problems, and you'll never know. No AI has restrictions that allow it to scrub data for a certain amount of time. And well, yeah,
No restrictions at all.
I did think that it did. The AI had restrictions to how much it could scrub for a generalistic amount of time, but I don't know. There have been people writing whole essays on the thing. Like quite literally, it will go and basically research everything on something random.
That's because the internet is a very wide and big place. It takes a lot of knowledge to even understand its basic nuances. So of course it's going to take a person, and since it's always changing, it's going to take a person a long time to explain how certain parts of the internet work, because certain parts of the internet need certain conditions met. They need certain personnel to monitor it, and then there's deeper, darker parts of the internet, which is even harder to figure out, because that is always changing. Because
but the main problem the reason I bring it up is because people have become so dependent on it that they will form their whole life based on this one app or several different chat apps. And when you do that, you stifle growth. Like, for instance, we had to compare it to the workplace, right? All children are adults in training. So when you say, well, I don't really know what to do here. I ran into this problem. Let me look it up. Now the problem is solved, but there is no original problem solving done on you. So then when you go to and work a job, now you're sitting there struggling of, I don't really know what to do. And some jobs, depending on where you are, they don't allow phones in the building. So now I don't have access to what I need. I can't critically think about this problem. And now I'm too dependent on my phone. So now I'm having an issue.
Well, it goes into what I said last time. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to deprive you of your calculator. They're going to delete it. They cannot allow you to have your calculator with you at all times. It's just not possible.
You do know that the phone is a widget. It cannot, a widget's on your thing, it cannot be uninstalled. You can try.
Oh, teachers know. They know how to delete it.
Yeah.
Trust.
How many hours do each of you spend online, gaming, chatting, everything?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
back in my prime, I could spend a whole 48 hours. But
that was a trick question. She's taking away your calculator.
Well, you see, I'll have a calculator.
Nope, too late.
Delete it.
Folks are using GPT-4, which is a generative. What just happened? It just cut out. Y'all see it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there it is. GPT-4, which is generative pre-trained transformer. Transformers? If
in disguise.
It is a neutral network that scrubs internet data and creates products from its scrub that sounds human. Well, it really comes down to if you're going to form that much of a dependency, it's going to be an issue. If it is not human, but it processes text input to perform a variety of natural language tasks, that is the key that many people do not get. Well, they've never heard of an AI cover, because let me tell you, that's exactly what it is. And if you put certain filters to it, it will drag it out. It'll sound like it's actually singing. If for those of you that don't know, or you might know, there's a whole Five Nights at Freddy's movie. They have Frank Sinatra singing Five Nights at Freddy's. They have the cast of SpongeBob, their voices singing random songs. So that is true. It sounds human, but it's not. And it can only do so much as of right now. However, we are over our hour.
No, let's make it a
And I'm
3-hour
getting-
show.
No. We can have a part 2 of this because there is a lot about the internet, and as people that homeschool,
Yes, we could go from Teddy
to
next
answer
time all
Mom's
the way back to
question,
me.
we are online even during the summer for at least a minimum of up to 14 hours.
and I
Cut
would
Teddy
like to
off.
say-
Kill
Hey,
the jazz.
hold on. On before everybody he tells us to cue the jazz, I want
Kill the
everybody to
jazz.
take a second and to like, subscribe, comment, and follow our
And
Facebook,
kill the jazz.
Twitch, and everything that we're on. We do have a TikTok.
And cue the jazz.
Yes, we have a TikTok now as well. Okay, everyone.
Cut
But
them
one
off.
thing I have to
It's
say,
been a great session. We will see you next time with the part 2 of internet safety.
don't follow us in real life.
Kill
Have
the
a good
jazz.